Hi everybody and welcome back to Heads Gone Golf. I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas and are going to have a brilliant new year, hopefully a very prosperous year next year for everybody. Hopefully we see the back of this current situation that we're in with COVID. Anyway, to brighten up your Wednesday, we're going to bring you some more short game tips with my good friend Ollie Walmsley. This week we're going to look at uphill and downhill lies around the green. I know a lot of people, even people that I've spoken to recently, have had a lot of trouble with those type of shots. The short shots around the green where you either dig your club face into the ground and it goes nowhere on an uphill lie, or on a downhill lie you thin it straight through the green, or it comes out hard and it can't have any control. So with no further ado, yet again we're going to jump back over to Brookdale Golf Club. We're going to meet Ollie over there and he's going to talk us through the first shot, which is downhill lies. Right, so next shot we're going to look at is short downhill lie chip shots around the green.
Yeah, so quite an awkward shot. So he's not got a great deal of room, he's got maybe 10 foot of green to stop the ball. A very, very common shot off these down slopes is it ends up here, right in front of you, or it ends up 20 yards away across the other side of the green. So we're just going to ask Jack how he would play this shot when he's out on the golf course. So if you talk us through how you'd play it.
What I would usually try and do would be to lean the shaft forwards to try and stop myself from coming directly underneath the ball, like you said, and leaving it right in front of me.
Okay.
But one of the common faults with doing that is, as you lean the shaft forward here and come through, as you can see, the ball flies quite flat and then straight through and past the flat.
That's ended up off the other side of the green. If I talk to you a little bit about why that's happened, and then you can see why we would change the technique from there. So if I get Jack to take his setup and do the same thing, okay? So if you watch, as he moves his hands forward, he takes loft off of the wedge, okay? So that 58 is now maybe a 46. So instead of having a lob wedge in his hand, essentially he's got a pitching wedge in his hand. So when he plays the shot, because he's coming on a down slope, the attack angle is steeper, which again has the potential to take loft off of a club. So he's had two things there which has taken loft off a club. So the ball is never going to go up in the air. It's always going to come out forward, come out hot. Hence, the last shot he hit ended up 20 yards the other side of the flag.
Just try another one.
There you go.
Exactly.
There's just not a great deal of control over the ball, and you can see the divot that he took there as well. Okay. So what we've got to think when we're playing shots off the slope is you have to use the slope. The slope is essentially your friend when you play these shots. Okay. So we can see here the white stick represents how big the slope is, and the red stick is just matching that. Now if we get Jack to take his setup, what I want you to do is set up in keeping with the slope. So stand square. Now if you can see here, his shoulder alignment is pointing up, okay? Now if he's pointing up with his shoulders, it means the club's going to catch the ground back here. So what we need Jack to do is tilt his shoulders so he's now with the slope, okay? And now what I want him to do is swing the club also with the slope. So as it comes down, he's going to lengthen the golf club down the slope. So the club's always working with it, okay? So if you set your shoulders a little more with it, good, body's with it, and he's going to swing it down the slope. You can see there how much softer the ball has come off the face, how much more control there is with the ball. It's definitely not come out hot, it's not come out firing across the green, and there's no divot either, so he's managed to play it with a relatively decent amount of control. So if you are trying this shot out, and as you swing the club down, you level your body out, it's now not in keeping with the slope, so you're going to hit the ground early. So if you set up for us, Jack, I'm going to show you why that is. So set up everything in keeping with the slope. Okay, make a backswing forwards, keep it that way. Now what I want you to do is level your shoulders out. So see how the club now wants to catch the ground back here. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to make sure the body stays with the slope. Now you see how the club wants to actually go down the slope and get underneath the golf ball. So let's try that again and play it that way. So get the shoulders with the slope. Good, keep everything in keeping. There we go. Comes out nice. It's good. Great shot.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to jump back over to Brookdale and we're going to look at uphill lies now. So Ollie, back over to you. Just make sure that when it comes past here,
narrow,
holding the face up here,
Yeah.
I'm actually laying it through.
yeah, so narrow your feet up a little bit, that'll help with a bit of rotation. There you go. There you go. And again. Perfect. Perfect.
In all honesty, the upslopes I think are a lot easier. I think that what you just said is people get lost in the fact that you're supposed to strike your irons with the shaft leading forwards, whereas with your wedges, it depends entirely on where you are and what shot you're trying.
Exactly. Like we said on the downslope, the slope is your friend when you play the shot.
Yeah.
You have to use the slope, you have to use what you've got around you. As soon as you start leaning the shaft forward, that leading edge gets a lot sharper.
Yeah.
And the chances are it's just going to bury the club. So what we have to do is work with the slope, and that's why. So the same way that we played the downslope, you're going to set up in keeping with it.
Yeah.
So everything's going to be tilted this way, and then as you swing the club up, instead of trying to lengthen it down the slope, you're going to now try and shorten it up the slope.
Yeah, yeah.
And by doing that, if you play it with quite soft elbows, it makes it a lot easier to make the club sort of come up and into you instead of lengthening it in, and basically burying the wedge into the slope.
That was a little bit more dug in as well. See?
Yeah, so you'll notice that on the video where you see his finish is very much in his left pocket. Okay, so he's still held. The only way you can get it there is by holding the club this way. Yeah, and that's why it took such a divot. Now this time, what I want you to try and feel is that the shaft is more level when you hit it, not leaning forward. So you're almost going to release the head through the shot.
And then I'm following that head through to about arm line.
Yeah, and then what you'll see in the finish is, because you've got soft elbows, the butt of the club will finish very close to his belt buckle, as opposed to his left pocket. So let's see how you play that. There you go.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in the contact. There's no divot. There's no divot involved, which shows how well the club has travelled up the slope. There you go. See how much better this right?
Yeah. And it's the control over it.
And there you have it. I hope those couple of tips from Ollie have helped some of you guys out there and will help you guys in the future. I know they definitely helped me recently playing those shots around the green. Like I said at the beginning of the video, hope that everybody had a great Christmas, and I wish everybody a very happy new year. Let's see brighter and better things for everybody. Stay tuned next week. We're going to have another episode of the short game practice. We're going to look at bump and run shots. So stay tuned for that. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the golf.